The first thing that we do know is that Israel is under Roman control, and it could be very brutal at times.
Right.
Right. And I think this brings us to a really great point about Pilate, because Pilate's kind of the center figure.
Right.
Of
He's
the story.
one. Yeah. He's the one who's doing it.
He's the one who's doing it.
Right.
At the very least, he's being incredibly irreverent.
Right.
But he's doing this, and it's like it's seen as a bad thing that has happened to them.
Right.
Because he did it to them.
Well, and I think it's important to like understand. There's kind of like there's two thoughts, because what does this commingling or mixing of blood really mean? Well, so in Jewish tradition, there were certain sacrifices made for certain things that called for certain animals.
Right.
And so like there's one line of thought with Pilate that says he's requiring no, we need cows, so you can't. Well, we need those lambs, so you can't kill the lambs. Kill two doves, and they're like, but we can't do that. And he's like, well, kill one dove, one. You know what I mean? Like there's a commingling there of the wrong animals for the sacrifice. Or it could also be that he is putting animal sacrifices in for himself or for Roman gods. And so this idea of Pilate like commingling blood isn't just innocent. You know what I mean? It's calculated.
I think there's also, and I don't know, like scholarly,
sure.
But like when I read this,
right,
I think about the Galileans. It's their blood.
Yeah, 100%. Right? Yeah.
Like
that's sure.
It's their blood that's being mingled with their sacrifices.
100%.
Right?
And it also could be, self-mutilization, all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's something nefarious going on there.
Right.
And these Galileans are being a part of something that is not seen as good, and it's bad that it happened to them. And the people are kind of asking, is this judgment on them that Pilate did this to them? So what we know about Pilate, I think sometimes we look at Pilate and we kind of give him a pass.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He didn't really want to crucify Jesus, right?
Yeah, he's innocent. He just got bad guy put in bad situations.
Yeah. So why did he?
Right.
We kind of give him a pass on that because it was political pressure.
Yeah.
He only killed him because he was being pressured.
Right.
But he didn't see the point of killing Jesus.
Right.
But he does it anyway.
Right. It's called a sin of omission.
Right. And one of the things that I would like to point out is Matthew 27, 19 through 23. And this is what happens in that verse. And while he, being Pilate, was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent him a message saying, "See that you have nothing to do with that righteous man. For last night I suffered greatly in a dream because of him." But the chief priests and the elders persuaded the crowds to ask for Barabbas and to put Jesus to death. And the governor said to them, "Which of the two do you want me to release for you?" And they said, "Barabbas." Pilate said to them, "Then what shall I do with Jesus, who is called Christ?" They all said, "Crucify him." But he said, "Why? What evil has he done?" Yet they kept shouting all the more, saying, "Crucify him." Mm-hmm. And the reason I read this story here, it really strikes me that the reason Pilate even gave them a choice, the reason Pilate even disagrees with their choice,
right,
is really out of deference to his wife.
Right. She's the one who says, don't do anything.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm sure Pilate maybe is looking at it like, this is absurd.
Right. Right. 100%. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. But he has no problem. He doesn't just crucify Jesus.
Yeah.
He humiliates him.
100%. Yeah.
He mocks him.
Yeah.
The scripture says that he was amazed by him at points, but then he puts him under his thumb.
100%.
As any proper Roman general
very
would
cruel.
do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So here's another quick commentary about Pilate, and this comes from David Guzik's commentaries. We don't have a record in secular history about the specific incident mentioned here. According to Barclay, there is a similar incident before the ministry of Jesus. Pilate wanted to build an aqueduct from the pools of Solomon to the city of Jerusalem. To pay for it, he demanded money from the temple treasury, money that had been dedicated to God. And this outraged the priests and the people. When the Jews sent a delegation to beg for their money back, Pilate sent into the crowd soldiers dressed as common people, and at a certain signal, they took out daggers and attacked the people asking for the money.
Yeah.
This is a very brutal,
Sure.
Pilate, okay, we look at the account of Jesus, and a lot of times we just think, he's this political figure that's trying to keep the Jews happy, and he's trying to keep the Sadducees happy. He's trying to do all this stuff, and he's got to be Roman, and he's just trying to balance all this.
Yeah.
Well, here he is. He's dealing with taxes and building this stuff, and he does it in a way that's offensive to the Jews, and they're like, "Hey, Mr. Political Man.
Yeah, we don't like this.
We don't like this."
Right.
And his response is like, "Oh, okay. Death."
Yeah. Right. You have to understand, Romans were brutal.
Yeah.
Very. I mean, have you the Colosseum. I mean, have you heard of the things that Romans did? Like, and so Pilate was a Roman leader, meaning he had no regard for anyone but Romans. And really, by the time you get to Paul, even that is questionable, because really it's if you don't bow to Caesar, if you don't bow to me, you're nothing but an ant under my boot, and just exactly right. So Pilate wasn't a great guy.
Pilate not so great.
Yeah.
So what we can ascertain is Pilate did something with these Galileans.
Yeah.
Whether he affected their sacrifices or he killed them, it somehow is tied to their sacrifices, and it has tainted their sacrifices, though it's not like a full desecration of like the temple or anything like that. Right. Because that would be very notable. Right. I think one other thing that we need to suggest here is that it was possible that these Galileans did something wrong or could have been seen as having done something sinful. Sure. Right? Because there's this kind of this questioning is like, did you hear about this? Is this judgment? Right. Because when Jesus responds, he responds in a sense of like, well, do you think that they're worse sinners than you are? Right. Because they're saying, what do we do? Is this them? Is this 100%. Right. So that's our kind of our first category, right?